Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a We Should Picks exclusive on Broadcast Houston. I'm here with the We Should Picks author. He goes by the name of Willie Dutch. He has a book called Rich Life. Looks like a record or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
tell us
man.
about it.
It got that feel too, man. Considering the music, it's like a soundtrack to our life. So when you read this, you're gonna catch them same vibes. I actually have a background in music. Prior to me, doing this endeavor right here. So, it's definitely a correlation, if you will, with hip hop fiction and hip hop music itself. Again, I go by the name Willie Dutch. Man, just out here supporting my day one, man, Mr. Dunn, man, supporting his book Icy, supporting my book Rich Life, and all of the other books that's under the umbrella of We Should Picks and Logos Publishing, man.
That sounds good. Now, one thing you said is you have like a record in that hip hop feel, and you got
Absolutely.
The book. Were you writing songs before the books, or was it vice versa? So what made you transition from like the iTunes and the Spotify to the books?
Right, I think for me it was a natural transition. I mean, from writing essays in school to writing poetry to writing music and books, and now my new endeavor is writing screenplays. So
okay.
It was a natural evolution, if you will. One of the reasons I started writing novels, I actually set upon this journey like 2003 because I was an avid reader, and most of the books that I was reading from this genre called contemporary fiction or hip-hop lit, if you will, urban lit, there wasn't anybody really using our lingo and telling our story, being from Houston, being from Texas, particularly the books that were centered around the streets and the drug game or what have you. And I felt like I wanted to fill that void. So I was one of the first that I could recall, especially being from a hip hop background. Like, to my knowledge, prior to myself, no one had expanded their brand into the urban lit market. Even some of the artists like the Meek Mills and T.I.'s of the world that have produced urban lit, they haven't written it themselves. So, I just wanted to, kind of carve that niche in the game.
Do you think when the content is not written for somebody that actually lived it, it's not penned by them, it lacks some of the authenticity?
I wouldn't say authenticity because, they go to ghostwriters and what have you, and those guys have those experiences. So if you have those experiences, they'll come across in the books, because even though it's called fiction, it comes from a very real place if you want it to be believable, if you want people to be able to relate to it. And then, you got a lot of guys that don't have names for themselves, or a lot of guys that's incarcerated, just like True to the Game, if you will. The guy that wrote True to the Game, it wasn't Terry Woods, by the way. The guy that wrote True to the Game was an incarcerated author that just didn't have an outlet, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I commend my brother, man, Dunn, like for giving guys, aspiring authors and the like, outlet, man, a medium to get out their dreams.
Okay, that sounds good. And I think in his interview, he said you're from Trinity Gardens.
Absolutely, man, Trinity Gardens.
How is Trinity Gardens basically, molded you into the author you are today?
I think for me, and one of the reasons I put Trinity Garden, or just the streets of Houston in general, as a backdrop to my works, is like it shaped my thoughts and my belief system, and it gave me a lot of the stories that I would later go on to embellish or fictionalize, if you will. So all of these stories, they deeply rooted in Trinity Garden and Houston, Texas in general.
Sounds real good. Now, I'm not sure if you know about the local rapper that just got slain, Chucky Trill.
Absolutely.
He was from Trinity Garden.
R.I.P. Chucky Trill.
R.I.P. to Chucky Trill. We've interviewed him several times, gave him an award on our platform.
Right on. I commend y'all for that. I seen y'all work y'all did with him, man. Shout out, man. Y'all
for sure.
Without markets like y'all, man, it wouldn't be no us. because y'all get us out to the people. So one time for Broadcast Houston.
Yeah, and without y'all, it's nothing to, broadcast to the world. But with that being said, how rappers or even just gangsters in the street move, you know what I'm saying, with the team, and you know what I'm saying, all this street killing. You can talk about Mo3, Boosie getting shot in the leg and everything.
Right.
What is your stance and position on how people need to move, whether they've made it or not made it, as far as the team and loyalty and things like that?
The people you have around you, like that's everything. Whether you assimilate or regardless of the influence, but like you mentioned, the Mo3s and the Chucky Trills of the world, and like it's power in the tongue. So I'm of the belief that if you speak a certain language, you should move a certain way. Like to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like none of the artists that I'm aware of that were slain with their own weapon. Like everybody that I know of that, you know, have gotten murdered recently were murdered without the same weapons that they profess to have in their music. So like if you claiming this shit, like you have to, you know, really be living it, really be about it. So, you know, maybe that would have been a difference if Mo3 had his own weapon to, you know, shoot back or, you know, get these people up off of him. So, you know, I feel like if you gon' speak it, you definitely have to walk the walk. If you're gonna talk the talk, you know, and that's just from an unbiased perspective. Because again, R.I.P. Chucky Trill, and you know, it's unfortunate, but like it's just magnetized because these people are artists. But like this goes on every day, and where I'm from, you know.
For certain. One last question before we get out of here. We really didn't tap into what Rich Life was all about. Could you give us a glimpse of that and what you want the reader to take away from that?
For me, it was like a breath of fresh air. You know, most of the books that were coming out during that time in the urban lit market were just centered on drugs. So I just kind of wanted to keep it street, but give it a twist. Like the main character, whose name is Rich, you know, he takes a file for the aforementioned. And during his time in federal prison, he meets a confidant and who would later become a mentor. And, you know, they explore the white collar market, you know what I'm saying? So they go into it's like if you ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can, you know what I mean? It's like Catch Me If You Can, you know, shout out DiCaprio, on steroids, you know, for the urban market, where he's changing his personalities city to city, state to state, and it's an adventure, man. But you know, just like our books, it's a morality tale too. Because, you know, it ain't no happy endings when you live in the street life, regardless of whether it's white collar, blue collar, drug dealer, etc.
Okay, and you want the reader to get what? Once they finish reading this, you want them to be like, what? I
want the reader to email me or hit me up, williedutch.com, and be mad at me. I want them to be upset because a character got murdered or a character went to jail. You know, I want them to be involved emotionally. And I get that a lot, man. Shout out to all my avid readers, all my fans out there. And like, that's what I like, man, evoking that emotion and that dialogue. Because again, you know, it ain't no happy in this world. You feel me?
For sure. One last time, where can they reach you at, and do you do any other things like public speaking? I say you was a writer, you're looking for actors and things like that.
Absolutely, man. I've done some of everything, man. Check me out, williedutch.com. No cap, you can Google me. I've done a lot of things, man. One of the first artists in the city to pioneer like the phone app markets and things of that nature. Like I say, you know, I have a background in music, man. R.I.P. Wicked Cricket and Mean Green, the people that kind of mentored me in the game. And right now, man, I just want to be a candle, man. I just want to light some other wicks and keep my fire lit at the same time, man. So again, Willie Dutch, man. Google me, man. WILLIE DUTCH.
With the .com on the end, man. This is
Please say the
Houston.
Yeah, man.
And this is a We Ship Picks exclusive. We appreciate it.
WeShipPicks.com, man.
For sure. We gotta do it again, man. Y'all pick up that book. Y'all support everything on WeShipPicks.com. Remember, it's not just books, it's magazines, pictures. It's for the culture, man. Y'all support the real.
Absolutely, man. 100.